Hello, my name is Ari Waldman. This is my video Tanya, day 24, where I'm going to be working on pausing. I'm recording on YouTube now. Daily study, daily Tanya-iggeret hakodesh, middle of epistle 27, Monday, the 15th of cheshvan, 5781, November 2nd, 2020. My name is Ari Waldman. I'm a person who stutters. Here it goes. Iggeret hakodesh, middle of epistle 27. This is on Chabad.org. V'hine biyot hatzadik chai, al pnei ha'adama hayu l'shalosh midot elu, betoch kli v'lavush shalahem. Now, while the tzaddik was alive on earth, these three attributes were contained in their vessel and garment. Bechinat makom gashmi, shehi bechinat nefesh hakshora begufo. On the plane of physical space, this being the aspect of the nefesh, which is bound to his body. V'chol talmidav eina mikablim rak ha'arat midot elu v'zayun. During his lifetime, his disciples all receive only a reflection of these attributes and array from them Hameir chutz l'chol zeh al yedei diburav umachshavotav hakodoshim, that radiates beyond this vessel, i.e. the tzaddik's body, by means of his holy utterances and thoughts. The tzaddik's utterances and thoughts are able to reveal no more than a minor ray of his attributes. V'lachein amru razal she'ein adam omed al da'at ribo v'kule. That is why our sages of blessed memory said that one cannot plumb the depth of his master's teachings until the passage of 40 years. Aval le'acher patirata lefi shemit pardim bichinat hanefesh shenishara bikever mibichinat haruach shebegan Eden shehein shlosh midot halalu. But after the tzaddik's passing, since the nefesh, which remains in the grave, is separated from the ruach, which comprises these three attributes, and after his passing, is in the Garden of Eden. The three attributes now unbounded by the body are the Garden of Eden, a spiritual space whose atmosphere surrounds every individual in this world, as the Alter Rebbe will presently explain. Lefichach yachol kol hakarov elav lekabel chelek bibchinat ruach shebegan Eden. Whoever is close to him can receive part of his ruach, which is in the Garden of Eden, i.e. an actual part of the very essence of these attributes, as opposed to a mere reflection of them. Ho'il ve'ena betoch kli v'lo b'v'chinat makom gashmi. Because the ruach of tzaddik is now not within a vessel, nor on the plane of a physical space, but in the Garden of Eden, which, as will now be explained, is to be found within the world as well. Kenoda Mamar Razal al Yaakov Avinu Elav Hashalom Shenichnas Amo Gan Eden. For, as is known, our sages of blessed memory said of our father Jacob, peace be to him, that the Garden of Eden with him, when he came to be blessed by his father Isaac, V'kein katuv b'sefer asara mamarot she'avid gan Eden mitpashet saviv kol adam. Likewise, it is stated in Asara Mamarot that the atmosphere of the Garden of Eden envelops every individual. V'nir shamim be'oyar ze kol machashavotav v'diborav hatovim b'torah v'avodat Hashem. And in this atmosphere are recorded all his good thoughts and utterances of Torah and divine worship. V'chein lehefach chas v'shalom nirshamim bi ivayar hamit pashet maginam saviv al kol adam. And likewise, to the contrary, heaven forbid, negative thoughts and utterances are recorded in the atmosphere from Gehenna, which envelops every individual when he engages in them. To summarize, after the tzaddik's passing, his power and his faith, his awe and his love are not limited by his bodily vessel and by the physical world in general, but are in the Garden of Eden, which is to be found in this world as well. Halachach, hilchach, nakol me'od, letalmidav lekabel, chalakam, mibchinat ruach ribam, ha'atz mayut, shehem emunato, v'yirato, v'ahavato, asher avad bahem et Hashem. It is therefore very easy for his disciples to receive their part of the essential aspects of their master's ruach, i.e. his faith, his awe, and his love, with which he served God. Below ziyom bilvad hameir chutz lichlali, likeli, and not merely a glimmer thereof, which radiates beyond the vessel, and which reach them through his thoughts and words when the tzaddik was still alive. Lefi shebchinat rucho ha'atzmit mit ala behai ilui acher ilui. For the essential aspect of his ruach, his essential faith, awe, and love that relate to himself and not to his disciples, is raised elevation beyond elevation. Lahakel bivchinat nishmato shebegan Eden ha'elyon shebeolamot ha'elyonim. To become absorbed in his neshama, which is higher Garden of Eden in the supreme worlds. V'noda shekol diber b'kedusha eino nekar ligamri mikol v'kol mimkomo umi dargato harishona v'gam la'acher shenit Allah lamala. Now it is known that no holy entity is ever totally and utterly uprooted from its original place and level, even after it has reached the highest point. Rather, some trace of it always remains in its original lowly location. Moreover, as noted above, the lower Garden of Eden is to be found even in the lowly world of Asiya. Ubechina zu harishona shen nishara lamata began Eden hat chatun bimkomo midragto harishona. Thus, it is this original aspect deriving from the ruach of the tzaddik remaining below in the lower Garden of Eden, in its original place and level. He hamit pashtat bital midav, which extends itself among his disciples. For this aspect has detached itself from the essential aspect of the ruach of the tzaddik, in its entire purpose is to be vested with his disciples. Kol achad lefi bichinat hit kashruto v'karbato elav b'chayav uv'moto be'ava rabba. Each one according to the level of his bond and closeness to the tzaddik during his lifetime and after his passing, out of an abounding love. Ki ha-mishkat kol ruchaniot eina ela al yedei ahava rabba. For anything spiritual is elicited only by means of abounding love. And when this decree of love is present, the three attributes of faith, fear, and love are then drawn down. Kamo shekatuv b'zohar hakodesh, d'ruach, d'rauta, d'liba, amshich ruach, mil ila. Thus, it is stated in the sacred Zohar that the spirit ruach of inner heart's desire elicits a spirit from above. So too the disciple's heartfelt love for his master draws down these three attributes. Rak im yachon likrat elokav behachana rabba vigia atzuma. But only if he will prepare himself towards his God with a great preparation of an intense effort, as explained by an unnamed elder chassid, quoted by in Likutei Hagahot. Great preparation refers to the preparation of the soul. Intense effort refers to the toil of the body. Likabel shalo midot halalu kederech sheho rahu Rabo, V'Ma'amar, Razal Yigiat Umatzat Ta'amin. So that he will receive these attributes in the way that his master taught him. To paraphrase the words of our sages of blessed memory, if you have labored and claim to have found, believe it. As explained, the Rebbe Rayatz, and if he will prepare himself towards his God with a great preparation and intense efforts, means that every man's task is to vest this faith, awe, and love within his physical everyday life in his observance of Torah and mitzvot. It would also seem from the continuation of his explanation that the meaning of if you have labored, believe it, is that the individual then gains a great deal more than what he actually labored for, very much like an unexpected find. Through this toil, successive generations of offshoots are bound up with their source within the essential aspect of the master's ruach, i.e., his essential faith, awe, and love that relate to himself and not to his disciples, which is raised elevation beyond elevation to become absorbed in his neshama, which is in the higher Garden of Eden, in the supreme worlds. The disciples of the tzaddik thus benefit not only from the ruach insofar as it remained in the lower Garden of Eden, but also from the essential ruach that was incorporated within his neshama that is found in the higher Garden of Eden. Surely this is a gain that far outstrips the individual's effort. This level of energy, as the Rebbe Rayatz concludes, is not integrated internally within his disciples, but merely encompasses them in a transcendent manner. Nevertheless, it is so powerful that it enables even their successive generations of offshoots to produce upending generations of further offshoots. The Rebbe Rayatz also states that by toiling in the path that was handed down by their master, disciples cause his spiritual life of faith, awe, and love to descend into the practicalities of their own divine service, Torah study, and observance of the mitzvot. Through these labors, moreover, even the further disciples, who are his successive generations of offshoots, become connected with their source in the constantly ascending ruach and neshama of the tzaddik, who is in the higher Garden of Eden, the higher Garden of Eden. This is the end of my video, Tanya, day 24. Have a great night.